To give batters a different look, pitchers throw a changeup.
Your idea of a different look is sunglasses.
That's true. But La Quinta Inns and Suites is really taking the different look thing to a new level.
Definitely a major league makeover, starting with a bolder, brighter lobby full of comfortable spaces to let you settle in.
Or chill out in front of a big flat screen like Wingo would.
Oh, you know it. It's a changing La Quinta look to help you get in the zone and look sharp when you hit that big meeting.
Prepare to win at business with La Quinta Inns and Suites.
Book now at LQ.com. Listen up, people. We got a big favor to ask, and we promise it won't take too much of your time. You know our show is supported by some fantastic sponsors, right? Well, we'd love to hear your feedback. Head to ESPNpodcaststudy.com and fill out a short, anonymous survey. That's it. We swear. No more. Again, that's ESPNpodcaststudy.com. Moving on a Thursday, Golic and Wingo, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. Presented by Progressive Insurance. All phone guests will join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. And again, you can get in touch with us at our phone line, 860-506-5505. Some of the topics we've been discussing so far today. Are you good with Phil Mickelson's apology? Let us know what you think about that. We'll get to some of those later. Plus, give us some comps. We're all about comps right now. The comp nap that I took was a great discussion with you and Junior about what the value of a comp is, whether it's to a fan or a general manager. And are there comps in the NBA draft that you see as guys that are currently playing in the NBA? You can get in touch with us along those lines. Is there somebody else you'd rather be than Cristiano Ronaldo, who has 4 goals in 2 games in this World Cup and is absolutely owning it so far in Russia? You can give us your thoughts on that on the phone-in line. So we got a lot to get to.
We do.
The World Cup is underway right now,
yes,
Mike.
It is.
Hey! It is Denmark and Australia. They are in the first minute right now. They're in the first minute and a half, and as you might expect, there is no score, but it looks like the Danes are setting up for a corner kick.
And today is, or at least tomorrow, we'd pay it off, but we leave today. We head down to Pinehurst for our
Golic and Wingo Leadership Retreat.
The payoff is finally happening. The company is paying for us to go golf at Pinehurst #2. And we got to bring some of y'all along.
Yeah.
We had 4 winners for this who brought along 2 people each, and we'll have 4 foursomes down there, one with Trey, one with me, one with my son, and one with Stu Gotts, who will be on the show with us for a couple hours tomorrow down in Pinehurst there. But then we're going to golf Pinehurst #2 tomorrow, and then the Cradle on Saturday morning, all on the company's dime. It's unreal.
This is the greatest thing of all time.
Great, isn't it?
By the way, the other thing we've been talking about is weird baseball injuries because the Cubs closer, take off his pants and his back
off his pants and back spasm, and he's on the 10-day DL.
So, and that brought up to me my favorite story of all time of a weird baseball injury. Glenn Allen Hill had a dream he was being bitten by spiders, and he went through a plate glass window. Well, one of our fine people here that works with me on NFL Primetime, Jeremy Sloan, just forwarded me an article from April of 2017. Glenn Allen Hill has conquered his fear of spiders. There's video of him allowing a tarantula to walk on his arm.
Oh, man.
So
I'm not doing that.
He came through with it. Unbelievable. He's with the Albuquerque, at the time, in April of 2017, he was with the Albuquerque Isotopes. By the way, one of the great...
Do like that. I want some gear.
Minor league names of all time, the Albuquerque Isotopes. And there's video of the manager, Glenn Allen Hill, and there's the tarantula crawling on his arm.
I had said, with Morrow's injury of back spasm and taking his pants off, I said, would you admit that? Would you tell your team something different? And somebody tweeted in, maybe that's his made-up story.
That's a very good point.
Maybe something else did it, and he said, I was taking my pants off.
Listen, I don't want to go down that. I don't want to disparage him in any way, shape, or form, but that's a very good take.
There you go.
We'll get to the bottom of that later, I'm sure. But let's start with what's trending or what isn't trending, ladies and gentlemen. Dave McMenamin, our Cavs reporter, says the Cavs are not shopping Kevin Love, despite the fact that they talked to the Spurs about Kevin Love.
Well, yeah, listen, when they're talking to the Spurs, anybody is on the table there that you're trading to get Kawhi Leonard to come play with LeBron James in Cleveland. But they're not going to shop Kevin Love everywhere else is basically what they're saying. They know they don't have the ammo or what San Antonio wants coming back to them, so they're not going to get that trade. And people are saying, well, who they draft, will that go into LeBron's decision? I don't think that's going to make any bit or go into the decision at all of LeBron James or who they pick at number 8 if they stay at that draft pick. It's going to be what other moves can they make. I really think he's going to be gone as much as being from Cleveland. In all honesty, I think he'd like to stay there. Well,
that's what Wendy said. Give him a reason, but I don't think the Cavs have the resources to give him a reason.
Because he's talked a lot about the family, the kids are really entrenched there. I'd probably like to stay there, but there really isn't going to be a big enough reason as far as winning championships. to stay there, it would seem at this point, given what else he could possibly build somewhere else.
It certainly looks like he's going to go to, I love L.A. It looks like the Los Angeles Lakers are the way to go. As for Love, he turns 30 in September. Cleveland has made a call, but again, McMenamin reporting that it looks like Kevin Love does plan to be a part of the Cavs' future, whether it's with LeBron or without him. Well, with 2 outs and a runner on in the bottom of the ninth inning, Yankees slugger Giancarlo Stanton lived up to that nickname. Just hit a frozen rope out of the ballpark, a no doubt about it screamer, a walk-off home run. The Yankees come back from down 5, Mike, to win 7-5.
So how rare was this on both sides, Yankee side, Stanton side, and the Mariners side? Again, his 4th walk-off for Stanton. It came on an 0-2 count. He entered the game 3 for 26. That's a 115 batting average, with 1 home run and 18 strikeouts on an 0-2 count. Now he has 2 home runs. And the Seattle Mariners, they entered action 30-4 when leading after 7 innings, and that obviously went the wrong way for them, as now the Yankees and the Red Sox are both tied with 49 wins, first to 50. And again, one of those teams is going to be in a 1-game playoff at the end of the year.
And the other one may be the Mariners or the Astros.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just
amazing.
By the way, give credit where credit is due. Did anyone see this coming from the Mariners this year? I certainly say I did not.
I did not. Maybe Riley did.
I was optimistic.
Ah, okay.
Were you this optimistic?
I've been optimistic since 2002.
Optimistic
is
a very general term of just how optimistic you are, yes.
Oh, we have a soccer goal. Hold on.
Oh, we do!
Hey! Denmark has scored in the 6th minute. And the Danes are very happy.
That's bad for you.
That is terrible for me.
Junior has Denmark. You have Australia. Yeah. Mike looking to build on his lead. He has 17 points so far. You're second with 15. So looking to build on that, and it's starting out well for him. And just, 6.5 minutes gone.
Yeah, and it was just a hammer shot, too.
Yeah, well,
listen,
there you go.
I was optimistic where Australia looked like they may get a draw with France, and they gave up a goal late.
Mm-hmm.
I think, Aussie, I love you. I don't see this ending well for me or you
at
this point. All right, so and we'll finish up what's trending with Mike Trout being Mike Trout. He will play his 1,000th career game tonight against the Blue Jays. He has more home runs, walks, and WAR through his first 1,000 career games than the all-time leader in those categories. That would be Barry Bonds.
It's ridiculous what he's doing, and such a great point brought up by it was Jeff Passan from Yahoo Sports, that he has not been American League Player of the Week any week this week. Anytime last year.
No.
Or anytime the year before. The last
fantastic.
time was in 2015 because his greatness is just basically expected every week. So it's ho-hum. He's just doing what he normally does. So why would we make him the AL Player of the Week?
He's being LeBron.
It's unbelievable.
He's essentially being LeBron.
And he's 26?
Yeah.
He's 26 years old.
I think he gets more pub literally from going to Eagles games than what he does in baseball
crazy.
For the Angels.
Just crazy.
It's ridiculous. Again, in his last 8 games, he's hitting .696.
Pretty good.
He's hitting .696. It's insane. You know what else is insane? The mind of Dan Dakich.
Well.
And this hour of Golic and Wingo is brought to you by La Quinta Inns and Suites. Book at LQ.com and win at business. Let's bring in the guy who just tweeted he made a 15-foot par putt during a radio interview. Dan Dakich on the Shell Pennzoil Performance line. Get triple action protection for optimal engine performance with Shell V Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline. Dan, that's a lot on the intro there, and that must have been what that putt felt like as you were doing the interview, correct?
Well, it's just another day in the life. You know what I mean? Like just doing an interview, making a putt, winning some money. It was. And my producer tweeted out. So, being the the very mature human being that I am, I had to retweet it as well. So there you go.
Hey man, own your greatness, Dan. Own your greatness. Don't ever think you don't.
Yeah. If I don't, nobody will.
There you go.
Okay, so we're all in on this draft. Tonight. First of all, we're all about the comps. Okay, we don't see these players like you see these players, so we're looking for comps, people that we can relate to. So if I say DeAndre Ayton looks like he's going number 1 overall to Phoenix, what's the current NBA comp for Ayton?
Oh, you're going current NBA comp,
or
okay.
whatever makes sense to us. We will go down that road with you.
I'm gonna be big on Ayton. I'm gonna be huge on Ayton. I'm gonna say Joel Embiid. I'm gonna say that. He's a guy that I can say poor man Joel Embiid, but he can go on the block. So I'll go Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid's a good comp for him, I think. I mean, if you're going to be the number one pick, you might as well be compared to somebody pretty good. I don't know that he's that level yet, but he might be. He has a chance to be.
How do you look at the NBA today when you see the top 4 of the 5 players are centers, these big guys that can move everywhere on the court, or another big guy, at least from a ball handling standpoint, in Luka Doncic, the way Ben Simmons was at 6'10", this kid's 6'8", and doing what he did in Europe. What do you think is more valuable in today's NBA game?
Man, Mike, that's a great question. Like, there's no way you can not take Ayton. There's no way you can not take Bagley because of their offense. There's no way, okay? But that's not the way the NBA is going. I mean, let's be honest. Like, if you ask me a comp on Bagley, I'd say a guy like Sam Perkins back in the day. Shoot jump shots. I think that's where he is in the NBA. But I see where Puma has signed all these guys, right? And that's great. That makes a big splash. But the truth of the matter is, shoes don't get bought of big guys. I mean, Hakeem Olajuwon had an Etonic contract, for crying out loud, back in the day. And the NBA isn't played by big guys really anymore, unless those big guys can shoot. So I'm interested. It's the reason I would take Bagley number 1, because I think Bagley fits the modern game better than anybody. I don't know enough about Doncic I don't know enough about him. I know he's a great player. I've watched a ton of film on him, but I don't know what he's made of. I haven't seen him like I've seen Bagley. So if Doncic's better, then he probably fits it. But for me, offensively, the guy that fits modern basketball is the kid you're showing on the screen right now, Bagley, and I think I'd take him number 1.
All right, so you're in on Bagley, you're in on DeAndre Ayton. Doncic is interesting, Dan, as we're talking to Dan Dakich, our college basketball analyst, has a great show on radio in Indianapolis as well, because people are either completely enamored by what he can do, or they seem very concerned about what they don't know about him. It seems like he's sort of a boom or bust guy here.
Maybe, but you know what? He's also a guy that in the second highest level of basketball, right below the NBA, is a fit guy, is a win guy. And that's what I see when I see him. Like, but does that matter? I don't know. Like, if being a win guy mattered, wouldn't Jalen Brunson be up higher? Here's what I see with Doncic. I see a guy that has athletic ability. I see a guy that can do what you need done on the court. But here's the deal. People always ask this because we want to compare guys to the worst, right? We want to say, all right, last guy drafted this high, maybe it was Darko Milicic. All right. Well, is he Darko? I don't know. And name me the European guy that came out that was that was Draymond Green. Let's put it that way. Because if you look at that size and you got to be a little bit like Draymond Green. You've got to be able to guard bigger. You've got to be able to switch to smaller. You've got to be able to play all over the court. That's what I see in the kid. But NBA guys want to do what you just did. Compare me to who? Okay. Well, who's the guy coming out of Europe that is that guy? And I'm not sure we have the answer.
How about a guy like Trae Young? I mean, this is the one that we're really comparing to Steph Curry as this shooter. Is this a boom or bust guy? All of a sudden, I see him start to drop a little bit in some of the mock drafts.
Hey, Mike, you're going to take Trae Young and you're going to say he's Steph Curry. Okay. And I said it first. I said it in Portland. This kid's Steph Curry. All right. How many Steph Currys are there?
One.
Really?
One.
Yeah. Think about it. Okay. Everybody wants to be, okay, this guy's Dennis Rodman, right? Kenneth Faried, he's Dennis Rodman. Well, Dennis Rodman's a Hall of Famer. Kenneth Faried's contract's about ready to get sold. So there's only one of these guys. He intrigues me from this standpoint. If you look at the modern game, he's the guy, right? Gets a shot off, shoots it from deep, clever with the basketball. You got to be clever with the basketball. I mean, Steph Curry is as clever at keeping a defender off balance as anybody you'll ever find. And he has some of that, Trae Young does. But there's only one Steph Curry. What was Jimmer Fredette? I mean, was Jimmer Fredette, is that who Trae Young is? Or is Trae Young Steph Curry? Jimmer Fredette was supposed to be Steph Curry before Steph Curry was Steph Curry.
Except he wasn't.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's been, the Woods has been full. I mean, full of guys that led the NCAA in scoring from the guards position. I think he's talented. I think he fits the modern game. My question about him, if I was a GM, I want to know how much of a team guy he is, because I think Steph Curry, even though he shoots it, is a hell of a team guy. And I want to know, why didn't you get better? Like, why did you not get better, particularly on the defensive end, as you were playing in college? Now, if I like the answers, and I think he's got a certain toughness, which I do think he's got a certain toughness, and I draft him. Well, if I need him.
Yeah, I mean, look, he rewrote the record books as a freshman in a pretty decent conference, but it seems there's a lot of question marks, to your point, about what he can potentially be at the next level. Although the Steph Curry comparison, let's pump the brakes. There's only, like you said, there's one of those guys.
There's only one as far as I'm concerned. I mean, he's got a brother that's pretty close, but in terms of look, obviously, in terms of play, but he's not close in terms of production. So there's only one of those guys, man. But again, I swear, like we started this discussion, people love the comparison thing, and that's the easiest comparison.
All right, well, let's go a couple other names that we expect to hear early on the board. Let's start with Mo Bamba. I mean, that wingspan is ridiculous. I mean, it looks like he is literally going to be the NBA's version of the no-fly zone, the Denver Broncos secondary of a couple of years ago. Where do you see a comp for him?
Well, all right, that's a great question, too. Manute Bol? No, I don't know. Because I don't see offense. I watched him in person. He's the stiffest of the guys. Like, he can't dance. You want a guy that can dance, and he can't. Bagley can dance a little bit. Bagley's got some shake. Bamba, to me, early in his career, is going to be a runner, a follow-up on the offensive board guy, and what you hope he is a shot blocker. Here's the deal with blocking shots. Blocking shots is a skill. Like, I just saw a video you guys put up, and he's kind of standing there, and, a guy jumps into him, and he blocks it. Well, you don't really do that in the NBA. You've got to be able to understand the rules, come over, have timing, both to get to the ball and then to jump at the right time. I think he's got that. But right now, I think his offensive game is limited. Putbacks, run the floor. But that wingspan, let's be honest. I mean, when the NBA looks at a player, they look at potential. And, is there anybody with more potential? I don't know. But if there is, it's not by much, and that list is very, very short, because that dude's got potential. But right now, he's just a shot blocker, runner, and a follow-up guy.
Last one, a guy who's played 53 minutes of college basketball and has had back surgery. How nervous would you be about taking Michael Porter Jr.?
Hey, man, I'd be nervous about what's in his brain. Like, I don't know if you saw the quote where he's comparing himself to a bunch of really good players, and he says he likes being in that conversation. Hell, I got all those conversations in my head. I mean, I'm a combination Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, and I'm happy to be in that conversation. I'd be worried about what that's about. Like, I'd be worried about what he thinks of himself, because the NBA, if you don't know what you don't know, the NBA swallows you up. Now, uber talented, shoot the ball, run, jump. If he's healthy, I would have to know the medicals on it. He reminds me, personality-wise, of, did you ever watch the Kardashian show and Chris Humphrey was married to one of the Kardashians?
Yeah.
Chris Humphrey's the only guy that made me like the Kardashians more than him. Like, he's the only guy that made me, like, I like the Kardashians. I don't even like the Kardashians, but I like them more than him. And that's who he reminds me of. And that's probably really unfair. But if he's the guy that compares himself to greats after playing 52 minutes, I'd want to know what's really going on in that brain, because we have seen guys that don't know what they don't know wash out of the NBA pretty quick.
Well, that seems to be we were talking about this earlier. That seems to be the thing with everybody right now. I'm this or that. How about you just go play and we'll figure it out, right?
I have a T-shirt that says "Shut up and go to work."
Yeah.
My dad gave it to me 100 years ago, and I like that T-shirt. I'll never get rid of that. Just shut up and go to work, and then tell us who you are. Like, what? Ayton's an entertainer. Bagley's disrespected because he's not going to be number one. Disrespected? Dude's 18 years old. He's getting ready to be number 2 pick in the draft. What's his face? Trae Young is going to do things that nobody's ever done before. And then this guy thinks he's in the conversation, with great players because he puts himself in the conversation. It's a hell of a draft. It's the NBA, baby. It's fantastic.
It's going to be fun.
Yep.
It's certainly entertaining. And the other thing is, you're in that conversation because you made that putt. That's why. That's why you're in that conversation with Jack and Tiger. You made that putt, brother. When the red light was on, you're tremendous.
Hey, I don't know if you look, but that left wrist is taped. I got broken wrist and made that putt too. Been playing better with a broken wrist. Yeah, there's a lot there going on, fella.
Wow.
Way to play through the pain, my man.
You go.
Dan, we appreciate you being with us.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
By the way, Golic and Wingo presented by 1-800-Flowers.com. Surprise a friend or loved one today with a bouquet from 1-800-Flowers.com. When you order a dozen multicolored roses for only $29.99, you get another dozen absolutely free. Go to 1-800-Flowers.com/ESPN.
Another reason I hate the comparisons, it's ridiculously unfair to the person you're comparing. Why would we compare him to Steph Curry when he hasn't taken a step on the court, and Trae Young? Why are we comparing Baker Mayfield to Drew Brees, a Hall of Fame quarterback? To me, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I really never understood that stuff.
Basically, what you and I want and Dan wants, go be Mike Trout. Right? Mike Trout doesn't say anything. He just goes out and does great things. Everybody go be Mike Trout. Now, the NBA is a little different, I guess. It's more of there's a lot more showmanship into it, and I understand it. But listen, these players are going to be who they're going to be, and we'll find it out as they go out and their careers unfold. And again, it starts tonight.
Hey everyone, Mike Golic here. Support for the Golic Wingo podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you're confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you that same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. Rocket Mortgage is simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you're getting the right mortgage for you. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Mikes. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLS, consumeraccess.org number 3030. Is your home an ADT home? If not, you have to get ADT and help protect against break-ins, fire, and carbon monoxide. For a limited time, get ADT's lowest rate starting at just $28.99 a month from the most trusted name in home security. Go to ADT.com/podcast to take advantage of ADT's lowest rate.
With 36-month monitoring contract, early termination and installation fees apply. Excludes taxes and fees. Applies to traditional services only. Certain markets excluded. Licenses available at ADT.com.
Yet we continue to go down this road with Bubba the Human Shill.
Yes, we do. And by the way, happy belated birthday to you.
Oh, thank you.
Yesterday, right?
Yep.
Wow, yesterday was your 40th. Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Well done.
How old do you think I am?
40.
You?
I think you are 38.
No,
what are you, 20?
He's 24.
20 what?
24?
34.
34.
Are you really 34?
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, I thought you were a youngster that just looked 40.
Yeah. Wow, you're really 30. Boy, you're getting old.
Yeah, I know.
Welcome to the club. Just so you know, very soon you'll start growing hair where you've never seen it before.
There you go.
Okay. And things will hurt by just getting out of bed.
Good point.
Sweet.
So prepare.
No, that's awesome.
Enjoy your future.
All right.
There
Sweet.
you go.
Cool.
So you ready for a love or shove it?
Let's do it.
Love it or shove it. Golic and Wingo. Here we go. Brought to you by Grainger. Let's go.
Oh, just got my shirt here, too.
Yeah, there you go.
For those that are not
shirt.
watching, he held up a shirt.
A Ryan Newman shirt,
Yes.
and we'll get to why you held up a Ryan Newman shirt when we read about Grainger. But go ahead with love it or shove it.
All right. Drafting a center with the number one overall pick in 2018 is a mistake. Love it or shove it.
Well, I shove that. I mean, because it all depends on the type of center. If it's a center that fits the game today, of a center that can shoot a three and a center that could play some in the paint as well and move, then it's just fine. I'll take that player of today, and that's what we, though people think we are going to get in DeAndre Ayton and some of the other, remember, 4 out of the 5 top players are centers who can move and do those. With Mo Bamba being the guy, maybe, as Dan Dakich said, maybe the stiffest of all, but I completely shove that. You get one of these now type of centers, I have no problem with that at all.
Yeah, I'm going to shove that as well. I mean, you also have the situation where we see what Anthony Davis can do, what Boogie Cousins can do.
Right.
I mean, these are guys that can move and hit threes. And if they can do those kind of things, and we just had Dakich on, he compared DeAndre Ayton to a poor man's Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
I think a lot of teams would like that kind of player on their team.
Kidding.
I am shoving that one.
Trae Young will make more All-Star games than Luka Doncic. Love it or shove it.
Yeah, certainly we have no idea
This
about
is my favorite thing that we do, right? They haven't even been drafted yet, and who's going to have more All-Star
Yep, gonna need an answer.
Right off the bat, I'm going to shove this. I'm going to say Doncic, I think he'll be able to do more, especially at his size on the court, which I think will give him more opportunity to be in an All-Star game. And Trae Young, we'll see. We know he can hit the deep threes. Went through some ups and downs his freshman year. Again, we forget he was, 19 years old.
Right.
With some of what people thought were some immature comments from him, but he is somewhat young. But you give me the choice here. I go with Luka Doncic on that, so I shove it.
All right. You know what? I am enamored with Jay Billis. I find his reasoning and intellect astounding. He has made the Steph Curry comparison with Trae Young, which is also ridiculous. But if he's going down that road, Jay, I'm going down with you. So I am going to love this. Trae Young will make more All-Star games than Luka Doncic.
All
you
right.
can book it.
Wow.
We'll hold you guys to that. Check in about 10 years and see how you did.
We will. I just cross-pollinated segments, and I'm okay with it, by the way. We're doing Book It tomorrow with Stugotz?
Who knows?
That's the most Stugotzian segment of all time for us. Book it. All right, what do you got?
Kevin Love will finish his career with the Cavs. Love it or shove it.
What is he, 29 now? Going to be 30?
He's going to turn 30.
They're going to turn 30. They say they're not shopping him right now, and he's going to be the man on that team after LeBron leaves.
Yep.
Wow. I'm going to love this one. Even though we don't get defense there, you can get some rebounds out of him, and the shot when he's hot, when he's hitting them. A tough feel though when they rebuild. Now he's going to be 30. I'm still going to love it. I'm still going to say he's around there.
Yeah, I'm going to love as well here.
Yeah.
Because let's assume that LeBron is not there. They're going to have to sell somebody.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to market somebody, young player and.
Yeah.
And I think Kevin Love is the and. I think that Kevin Love will finish his career with the Cavs for that very reason. They have to have somebody besides the player they draft. And I feel like that's going to be Kevin Love. So I will love. There's love for love on this show.
Love and love. Mike Trout, more so than Clayton Kershaw, needs postseason success to cement his legacy. Love it or shove it?
Wow, that's a good question. Because as we talked about with Mike Trout, he's fantastic, but except for Poppy.
Well, here's Poppy.
Yeah.
Here's Poppy on Mike Trout.
I look at one stat when I look at Mike Trout. 3 games played in the playoff. Yes, he hasn't won one.
Okay.
So he's on 3.
Okay,
That's all I care.
Wow. All right.
That's right.
Rings, Trout.
To be fair, I don't know if rings are a stat or games played in the postseason are an actual stat. They're just a one loss.
Well, while I'll shove this because I think the pitcher is compared to the quarterback, and it is put more on a pitcher for postseason success a lot of times. Though obviously there is some on the everyday player as well, the position player. But I just think it's more in pitcher like quarterback as far as postseason. So I'll shove this.
I'm going to shove it as well because I think Mike Trout's legacy is kind of done already. Right? We're all talking about he's having the greatest season ever. He does all these things. I think Mike Trout is who Mike Trout is, and we're accepting it at this point. I don't think anybody needs him to do it on the stage to say how great he is. Everyone's saying he's doing the most Mike Troutist thing ever.
Yeah.
I feel like we already have sort of ordained him as the best player in baseball, and it's a shame that not many people know it, but I think he's already gotten that. So I think I'm gonna shove it for that very reason. I think his legacy is secure already. I feel that way. So there you go.
Sure.
We shove it.
I was just going to read that A-Rod.
Go ahead, do it.
Sad.
Oh, then they just took it away from you, so you can't read it anymore?
A lot of people are saying A-Rod got a lot of the criticism for not performing in the playoffs until he showed up for the Yankees in 2009.
Well, again, he's only had 3 chances right now. Trout has in the playoffs, so I still think it's more on the pitcher than the position player.
I would agree.
I'm going to stick with my guns on this.
We're going to shove that one. I think Mike Trout's legacy is good. I think it's good. What do you got?
Cubs closer Brandon Morrow getting injured. Taking his pants off is the most ridiculous injury you can remember. Love it or shove it.
Again, Morrow came back from an away trip. He was at about 3 a.m, he said, in his closet, taking his pants off. Got one leg out when he was trying to get the other one out. He had a back spasm. That's his story. And he's now on the 10-day DL. I shove that as well. To me, I start to lean right toward, and I'm sorry I'm forgetting, I believe it was a pitcher's name, who was ironing his shirt to go to the park, I would imagine, and ironed it while he was wearing his shirt and sustained a burn doing that, not shockingly. So I already can think of that one, and I know there's others that are more.
You can't. It's the most ridiculous injury you can remember, and you clearly can't.
I do remember
the injury. Just
I remember
the name.
I remember who it was.
No,
I remember what the injury was.
details.
No, I shove it.
I need date, time, and names.
I'm
It's not
shoving
gonna
it
happen.
because Glenn Allen Hill.
Yeah.
Glenn Allen Hill's the greatest thing ever. He was a baseball player who had a dream he was being attacked by spiders, and he got up and sleptwalked through a plate glass door.
Sure.
That's about as good as it
he
gets.
remembers.
That is something.
That's as good as it gets for me.
There you go.
Good job.
1990 with the Blue Jays when it happened.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's how you remember
See,
things.
Bubba, take off the blinders. Things happened before you were born.
Oh, yeah.
All right, what do you got?
I think we just established my age, and I was
34. He was born
in
1990.
But you look 40.
Again, you tried math and you lost.
It didn't
Chris.
work.
So I look older, but I still wasn't born.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Okay. Phil Mickelson should have apologized for his actions on the 13th green on Saturday at the U.S. Open. Love it or shove it.
Well, I mean, of course he should have. I mean, you love that. He should have. He made the mistake, and he tried to cover it by saying he knew what he was doing, and anybody who took offense, that was their problem, not his. And now a few days later, he's saying, okay, what I did was wrong. I was frustrated. I shouldn't have done it. So, yeah, he should have done it at the time, and it would have gone away. That's why I think his statements after were more egregious than the actual act itself because of what he said. Everybody was kind of like way turned off by that.
Mike, hold on 1 second. Hey! We have a World Cup update.
Wow.
The Aussies have scored. The Aussies have scored to tie it with Denmark 1-1 on a penalty kick. I think there was a handball by one of the Danish players, and that got him the penalty kick, and boom, the guy with the beardy.
So that's it, the guy with the beard.
Jednak.
There you
well,
go.
Look at him, number 50. Well, look at this beard he's got.
And why Trey is acting so excited is because he has Australia in our snake draft. It's a great beard.
That's a tremendous beard.
Mike and Devin have Denmark. You have Australia, and just tied it up 1-1. Wow, big goal there for Australia. All this in the first half. We're just hitting 40 minutes of the first half.
This is very good. The draw is now in play, baby.
There you go. All right.
The draw is now in play.
Phil Mickelson, love it or shove it.
Oh, he absolutely should have apologized.
Yeah,
love
I mean,
it. If he apologized Saturday, this whole thing would have gone over like this.
Absolutely
Instead, he did what's a lot of, like, with the anthem policies. Sometimes there's a burning ember and you decide to pour gas on it. And that's exactly what happened. He made this much bigger than it was, and that's why it went down this road. So I will absolutely love the fact that he should have apologized, and then we could have moved on with our lives. But we would have been denied 3 or 4 segments.
There you go. That's exactly right.
I'm torn, but I will still love it.
So, Bubba, there you go. That's love it or shove it.
Yep. Also, before we get to that, I just want to say I'll see you guys tomorrow, right? So
for what?
If you're
for the Pinehurst, I got the email from you guys. It was kind of like
was it in your spam folder?
Yeah, it was like broken English, like click here, you won. I assume that was the flight, right?
Right.
So
yes. So we're playing Sunday morning.
Head over.
So Sunday changed. Okay,
Sunday,
no, that's good to know. Yeah,
you get there Sunday morning.
Head over to the airport.
All right, because I was gonna head out tomorrow, so that's good to know.
Yeah.
Sunday.
So you take your time, fly on there Saturday.
Sweet.
We'll get Sunday and Monday.
Yeah, no, because I mean all the talent, so I figured we'd just be part of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so no,
absolutely.
All right, cool.
To give batters a different look, pitchers throw a changeup.
Your idea of a different look is sunglasses.
That's true. But La Quinta Inns and Suites is really taking the different look thing to a new level.
Definitely a major league makeover, starting with a bolder, brighter lobby full of comfortable spaces to let you settle in.
Or chill out in front of a big flat screen like Wingo would.
Oh, you know it. It's a changing La Quinta look to help you get in the zone and look sharp when you hit that big meeting.
Prepare to win at business with La Quinta Inns and Suites.
Book now at LQ.com. By the way, Dan Stanzik, our fine producer, is back. He's
Bad boy, double question, guy.
Wait, Golic? Of all people? Was going to ask my question?
Well, we'll see what you do today. 4 guests today.
Dude, just go away.
All right, we're talking to Jay Billis. And as far as Notre Dame, they beat Pitt yesterday. Bonzie Colson is back. They're 13-4 with him. We've talked about that situation. They play Virginia Tech. If they win here, do you think they're in? Are they in anyway? Or what do you think their path is?
It was a statement and then a question. It was a memo.
It was a paragraph.
It was a memo. It's a mission statement. Sports Center brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. If you shower, brush your teeth, or try something to make your hair look presentable, Dollar Shave Club got everything for you to make you feel and smell and look your best. And they're going to deliver it to you. Try the club today. Go to dollarshaveclub.com/Golic.
All right, Golic and Wingo on ESPN Radio and ESPN News. Cliff, Money song, UB40, Red Wine. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. All phone guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Leave us a voicemail. We'll get to those in the next hour, I promise. 860-506-5505. But, we like researcher Brett, right?
Yes, we do.
He's a good guy. I mean, the Brettomology thing is cute, right?
It is
good.
He thinks it's way better than it is.
Of course. But who's the real researcher here?
Yep.
Riley.
She's money.
Riley kicks tail. I mean, she kicks tail. So we're trying to find comps for Mo Bamba. Wingspan out the you-know-what.
Right.
What is he going to be? She came up with the comps
Again,
for Mo Bamba.
Mo Bamba is 7 foot, 225 pounds, I think, with a 7'9" or
7'9"
wingspan, which is a record.
Yeah. So Riley found the actual comps
for
Mo Bamba. The whooping crane. has a wingspan of only 7'3".
Oh.
The brown pelican has a 7-foot wingspan. A golden eagle only has a 7'8" wingspan.
Oh, so he's an inch more than the golden eagle.
He has a bigger wingspan than a golden eagle.
Wow.
So that is next level research by
that
Riley.
Really is.
And then she kicked it up a notch. Do you want to provide the last one?
Go ahead.
I will. The draft bios?
No. The last wingspan in the original email.
Ah, yes. They're discovered last year in Mongolia.
Yes.
A dinosaur with a 32-foot wingspan, which is more than 4 times that of Mo Bamba's.
So that would be Mo Bamba 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 Bamba.
Yes, 4 times Mo Bamba.
That was La Bamba. That was what.
Oh.
So a pterosaur. A pterosaur fossil with a wingspan of 32 feet.
Pterosaur.
A pterosaur.
Oh, they'll recreate that one like all the scientists are trying to recreate dinosaurs.
By the way, some draft bios for these birds.
Mm-hmm.
The whooping crane moves at a stately pace, browsing and probing for food rather than hunting. The brown pelican feeds by plunge diving from up high, using the force of impact to stun small fish.
That's cool.
Before scooping them up.
Yeah,
and
except
the
for the
golden
fish.
eagle is a raptor, seen attacking large animals or fighting off coyotes or bears in defense of its prey and young. So maybe Mo Bamba, that's what he thinks of the rim. He's the golden eagle at the rim. He will defend that rim.
You're going after this one hard. Impressive.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. So you have a memo issue, right?
A quick memo issue. There's a memo out. The Lakers had a staff meeting with free agency starting pretty soon. There was a big meeting about tampering, saying don't do it. Don't tamper. It's going to cost us money. They have, again, the ability to sign 2 max players. Don't do any tampering. It'll cost you. They had a meeting about this, a staff meeting, when it should have been a one-person meeting.
And who should that have been?
They've been fined twice already. It was Magic Johnson both times who got fined for tampering. I hope Magic wasn't running this meeting.
Yeah.
He should have been the only one in the meeting saying, hey, Magic, you know what you've been doing? Stop doing that because you're costing us money.
Do as I do, say not as I do. Do as I say, not as I do.
Holy smokes.
So he's got that issue he's working through, and you have another issue you're working through.
I do have another issue. This was my anniversary of getting engaged.
So not your anniversary.
Not my anniversary. And I always remember this because it's June 21st. It's the longest day of the year.
Right.
And I remembered it this year because my wife texted me and reminded me.
So there you go.
And mine was the worst engagement of all time.
Okay. You have a minute and 37 seconds.
So I obviously had the ring with me, and I was going to Chicago to see Chris, and we were going right to a concert.
Gotcha.
Okay? So she picked me up, and we were in the parking lot for the concert. The concert, by the way, was headlined by Jack Wagner, but we weren't going to see Jack Wagner. We were going to see the opening band, the Michael Stanley Band.
So you were there for the warm-up act?
Absolutely.
All right.
Love Michael Stanley. Love this song. So that's what we were there for. So I'm in the parking lot. I have the ring. She knows I have the ring.
Yes.
So we're just kind of sitting there. It's getting a little awkward. And basically she was like, well, why don't you just give me the ring?
And that was it?
And you want to talk about how not to do it?
Yeah, that's bad.
It was horrific. So basically I just gave her the ring because she knew I had the ring. So we can go into the concert, of which we didn't stay in the concert because at that point we're like, okay, we should leave and go tell people that we got engaged.
That seems
horrific.
That seems like a letdown. By the way, is the anniversary of when you ask someone to marry you, is that something you're supposed to actually remember?
No.
Right?
I don't think so.
That seems like it's a stretch.
The reason Chris remembered it today is because it is on June 21st. This is the first official day of summer, the longest day of the year.
Yes.
Which at that time when I was sitting in the car felt like the longest day of the year because it was a bit awkward at that point.
The summer solstice is what June 21st is.
There you have it.
It's actually, it's the start of summer.
Yeah, it is.
Hashtag summer book.
There you go.
We're very excited. We're very good. Hey, you know what? Who's celebrating the summer book and the summer solstice?
Who's that?
Obi. There you go. We're all excited. We're all Obi right now. All right, here we go. Coming up on the Knicks trading up tonight, plus a freak injury involving hot dogs and duct tape.
Is your home an ADT home? If not, you have to get ADT and help protect against break-ins, fire, and carbon monoxide. For a limited time, get ADT's lowest rate starting at just $28.99 a month from the most trusted name in home security. Go to ADT.com/podcast to take advantage of ADT's lowest rate.
With 36-month monitoring contract, early termination and installation fees apply. Excludes taxes and fees. Applies to traditional services only. Certain markets excluded. Licenses available at ADT.com.
Listen up, people. We got a big favor to ask, and we promise it won't take too much of your time. You know our show's supported by some fantastic sponsors, right? Well, we'd love to hear your feedback. Head to ESPNpodcaststudy.com and fill out a short, anonymous survey. That's it. We swear. No more. Again, that's ESPNpodcaststudy.com. Glad you're with us. Golic and Wingo on a Thursday morning. ESPN Radio und ESPN News presented by Progressive Insurance. All phone guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line, and you can get in touch with us, 860-506-5505. We'll have some of your voicemails earlier or later on in the show. We can't do it earlier because that means I could go back in time, and as we all know from Ronda Rousey,
can't do it.
I do not have the ability to go back in time.
No.
Although, what's his face? Juan Soto does.
Juan Soto does, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we got a lot to get to. We got the World Cup going on right now, and of course, it is. Oh, thank you.
Well done.
Nicely done.
Well done.
Is that a vuvuzela?
Yeah, it is.
Wow, how retro of you. How 2010 of you.
Yeah.
We got it covered right now. We have Denmark and Australia on the pitch. It is 1-1 at the half. Huge win for me because Australia got a penalty kick on a handball.
Yeah, it was. Again, you have Australia, and Mike and Devin have Denmark. So as our snake draft teams go, while Mike is in and Devin are in the lead, it's a big game for you if you can pull some points out of this.
Absolutely. By the way, once again, I'm seeing the replay of the Giancarlo walk-off home run. The pitcher's reaction.
And they know it.
He just turned into the fetal position on the mound. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, oh, that hurts me so much what he did to that baseball.
And the game's over.
And
that's how it goes. And today, also, obviously, the draft tonight, but today we fly out to Pinehurst.
For
baby. Our, you know what it is.
Nope, sorry.
No.
Golic and Wingo Leadership Retreat.
We pulled it off.
We made it.
And we brought some of you down there with us. We had 4 winners who got to bring 2 friends each. And we're already tweeting pictures this morning of them getting to Pinehurst. We'll meet them down there and see them down there when we get there later today. We'll do our show tomorrow from Raleigh, and then we'll golf at Pinehurst on number 2 tomorrow.
Yeah,
and then the Cradle on Saturday morning at Pinehurst, a great par 3 fun course that we're going to. So we pulled it off. The leadership retreat. We're going down to golf in Pinehurst. We all leave today. Can't wait.
We bought it. They bought it.
Yeah.
Which is unbelievable. Plus, big guest, Cobi from L.A. will join us.
Yes, he will.
So Cobi from L.A. will be here. We'll get to that in a minute. 30 for 30 podcast, by the way, returned. Subscribe to 30 for 30 podcast right now in the Listen tab of the ESPN app or on Apple Podcasts. Brought to you by ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Try it for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/30. But we'll start this hour, as we always do, with what's trending, and that, of course, is the NBA draft tonight, 7 Eastern on ESPN, ESPN Radio, and the ESPN app. And one of those names that a lot of people are talking about is Mo Bamba. Knicks coach David Fizdale met with the Texas Center on Wednesday afternoon at the Grand Hyatt Hotel in New York. Sources telling ESPN's Ian Begley.
But they're going to have to move up together.
Correct.
Now, the Knicks are picking number 9 right now, so if they want them, they have to move up. And reports are the Grizzlies, who are picking number 4, are looking to shop, are looking to move. But if you take that slot to try and get Mo Bamba, then you also are going to have to take Chandler Parsons. That's going to be part of the deal because Chandler's got some knee issues, made himself $23 million this year, and has 2 more years on his deal at just under $50 million total.
That's a lot of money.
You're going to have to take that along with you. But, you know, if that's what Mo Bamba, if that's what you want to go do, will the Knicks be the team to do it? There are other teams interested in moving up as well, Dallas being one. We will see if any of them do, and if so, who would it be?
And again, all of this takes place tonight, 7 Eastern on ESPN, ESPN Radio, and the ESPN app. It looks like DeAndre Ayton's going number 1 overall, and Luka Doncic may not even go number 2 now. It looks like 3 might be the spot if you want to try and get Doncic.
To Atlanta. Atlanta, by the way, has 3 first-round picks, so they may be looking to wheel and deal as well. We will see.
And we'll have more on Doncic from Mina Kimes, senior writer for ESPN.com, who profiled him for ESPN, the magazine. She'll be coming up in just about 30 minutes.
Trying to get to know him a little bit.
He's an interesting dude.
Yeah, he has been playing pros against the pros since he was 16 years old.
Yeah. Does he? The question is, though, I mean, he wants to date Jennifer Aniston, but he's going to go like the whole Adam Duritz, lead singer of the Counting Crows. Is he going to knock them off one at a time, or is he just fixated on Jennifer Aniston?
Don't know.
That's what we need to know. I don't know if we need to know that, but we're going to know.
Probably don't.
That's a fair point.
Good.
Well, you know, strange things happen when you go to ball games in Philadelphia. One of the greatest and worst all time was when that kid projectile vomited on a girl. That was horrendous.
There you go.
And by the way, that girl's father was a off-duty cop, so that did not end well for the guy who projectile vomited on her. But that didn't happen recently. But the Philly Fanatic has been launching hot dogs into the stands for years, and we have our first injury with a hot dog cannon launcher.
Hot dog cannon launcher. Now, to launch the hot dogs, if they were just hot dogs just wrapped in regular paper, they would disintegrate. So they wrap them in duct tape so they stay together. He launched it into the stands, and it hit Kathy McVeigh. She's already going to have shoulder surgery, so she didn't get her hand up quick enough to stop it. It hit her in the face, unable to deflect the hot dog. So she got a bruise from it. She's not going to do it, not taking any action. She said, hey, if people can get a chuckle out of it. She has been a good sport about it.
She's been great about it.
Did knock her glasses off. But a hot dog wrapped in duct tape coming out of a hot dog launcher shot by the Philly Fanatic hit this young lady in the face, knocked her glasses off. She's okay, but there you go. That's an actual headline.
Everything in that story fascinates me.
Yeah.
The fact that the hot dogs had to be put in duct tape, making them much more of a hard projectile.
Yeah, more like a missile.
Okay, because that's being how fast. I want to know how fast they come out of the hot dog.
This one was behind home plate. I don't know how high or low it was.
Maybe we need to dial down the speed on the jugs machine a little bit.
That's the thing. Maybe, or the person needs to shoot it further away and kind of arc it.
Yeah, like a wedge, not like Giancarlo's home run.
Exactly right.
We don't need line drives from the hot dog cannon.
That'd be bad.
But Kathy has been a great. I mean, she got dotted. She's got a black eye. And she has a hematoma, a bruise in her eye that's going to get worse, and she says it's going to go down her face. But she's like, no, I'm a big fan. It's all good. I'm not too worried about it. So, Kathy McVeigh, you are an American hero.
And she got hit in the face.
In the face! In the face!
That, of course, Rob Riggle from The Hangover with the taser. Nicely
what a great
done.
Scene.
Nicely done. And, we go from one bizarre baseball injury to another.
Yeah, we do.
Cubs closer Brandon Morrow won't be closing for a while because of his pants.
Yeah, so he came back from a road trip, and he said it was about 3 a.m. He was in the closet taking his pants off, got one leg out, trying to get the other leg out. His back spasmed.
Yeah.
He's on the 10-day DL.
Yeah, it's a
back
problem.
spasm, taking his pants off.
Look,
do we believe that story?
I do.
And B, if you believe it, is it the most bizarre injury that's out there for a baseball player? Because there is a litany of crazy injuries by baseball players.
You like the one where the guy burned himself because he was ironing a shirt he was
Somebody
wearing.
told me it was John Smoltz. No, I don't
think it's Smoltzy.
I didn't either.
I don't think it's Smoltz.
Somebody threw. I don't know, but it was a pitcher who had a dress shirt on, needed to iron it, and ironed it while it was on his body.
Yeah,
burned himself and missed some time.
That is silly. And my favorite always is Glenn Allen Hill, who in 1990 with the Toronto Blue Jays had a dream that he was being attacked by spiders and got scared, woke up, and went through a plate glass door.
Well,
and had some issues.
By the way, it was Smoltz.
Was Smoltz, really?
Was Smoltz.
John, you seem like a practical fellow.
Yep.
We've had him on the show.
He was trying to be time efficient.
Okay.
Instead of taking the shirt off, putting the ironing board out, he left it on and just ironed it.
Yeah, don't do that. By the way, once in college, I was ironing, and I left the room, and I left the iron plugged in. I could have burned down the entire. I could have done that.
I iron very well, by the way.
Ironing is no.
I can do it. I do it on the road when I had dress shirts. I didn't wear them. I actually use an ironing board.
Does anybody really like to iron?
I don't. Who likes to iron?
There's no upside in having to do ironing.
Mm-mm.
That's why I like these lovely Peter Millar shirts that need no ironing. By the way.
Don't wear button downs while you're golfing. Okay?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to be Phil.
Do that.
Well, I may be Phil in terms of hitting a moving ball.
Yes, I definitely will do that. I did that yesterday when we were golfing.
That is absolutely happening. But I will not wear the dress shirt.
No,
stay golf. Wingo. I will stay Wingo and not wear that dress shirt. By the way, the dress shirts that Phil wears, those Mizzen, they're very comfortable. They're very nice. I'm
point.
I'm not going to wear them playing golf.
I'll wear them out at night, not on the golf course.
When we're strolling through Pinehurst
Village.
There you
go. Exactly
By the way,
right.
you're going to like not only the course, you're going to like Pinehurst Village. Very cool. It's very.
I look forward to it, but as we're going to go down there again today. It's very hot.
Yes.
Tomorrow's supposed to be like 93 and Saturday 94, and it's supposed to be very humid. So that means a lot of liquids.
Yeah. Well,
okay?
And the right kind of liquids.
A lot of hydration.
Well, and maybe some other things.
It's a hydration situation.
Yes. So actually, the forecast for tomorrow has gotten better.
It has?
Yeah. It looks like very little rain.
Okay.
And only a high of 91.
Okay.
But the humidity level will be 90%.
Okay.
There you go.
So we'll be breathing in water, basically. Yeah.
Basically. But the good news is Sunday is going to get hotter and more humid.
We'll be gone by Sunday, so I'm good.
We'll be fine at that point. All right. As I promised, we're delighted to have Cobi from L.A. join us now on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. But it's U.S. men's national team's midfielder Cobi Jones to talk about the World Cup.
Yes,
He's also the voice of the L.A. Galaxy, a member of the National Soccer Hall of Fame. And I went to the SportsCenter commercial with Cobi when he was up here.
Okay.
They tied us up demanding their highlights. Cobi, you remember that? You had us tied up in chairs saying we demand our highlights on SportsCenter.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That's such a long time ago.
Yes, that was many hairlines ago for me. There's no question about it. Hey,
a different era.
Yeah, before we get into the World Cup, I have to ask, as a guy who's a analyst for the LA Galaxy, How much fun is it to analyze Zlatan in every game?
Oh, it's great. It's absolutely fabulous. I think more so for everything that's going to happen after, rather than so much that's on the pitch. Obviously, there's some exciting times, during the game, but you never know what type of quote or type of mannerisms you're going to be receiving from him after the game. So it's great. It's fun. It's fun to do. Always something to talk about.
He is a showman. There is no doubt about that.
All in on that.
All right, Cobi, we want to talk obviously about the World Cup, but we want to start with the fact that you've played the most games for the men's national team, 164 caps you have there. So you've been around this team, on this team, and now we don't have a team in the World Cup. What does that say about our program? What are your thoughts about it, and what can get this thing better?
Well, I'm a big believer, that there were a necessity in some type of changes that are going on, and I like what's happened so far where they're bringing in a lot of the youth and experience over this next cycle. It seems like they're giving the opportunity for these young guys to gain experience, and that's extremely important because this next generation that's coming through has such an amount of talent. You can see it at all levels with players like Tyler Adams that's been playing with the New York Red Bulls. You see like Weston McKennie, another top talent, that's playing over in Germany. So these and obviously Christian Pulisic, Josh Sargent. I mean, these are kids that are like 18, 19. So I think we're on the right track as we continue to develop these young players. So the next cycle in 4 years, it actually starts the next World Cup. That's in 4 years, and the cycle actually starts in 2. I think we'll be pretty good as far as be able to put a good mix of players on the field.
But Cobi, did you ever think we'd be in this position after hosting the World Cup in '94 and the breakthrough we had in 2010 and the great game we played against Germany in 2014? Did you actually think we'd be here with the men's national team?
No. I mean, I was like everybody else of the expectation where it was, oh, of course we're going to be at the World Cup, that was the norm. And maybe that was part of the problem. We got too complacent, as a soccer nation, and as a federation and a national team just thinking, okay, yeah, we're going to go through. And, we learned our lesson the hard way, in the first round. I mean, people forget we had 0 points.
Right.
Going into the first round, and thus the change, with the coaching, and letting Jurgen go and bringing on Bruce Arena. We made it up to second place at one time, but then, it kind of fell apart where I think we got, thinking, okay, we're there, and you're never there until that final whistle blows in the final game. And as we saw against Trinidad, things just went sideways.
Cobi, we're talking about just getting to the World Cup and the U.S. men playing in it. Do you think we can get to the point where we are one of the better teams?
I think so. Now, I think the U.S. is on the right path. Now, let's make sure we understand that even one of the better teams, you will always have setbacks. You look at France, how they won it in '98, and in the next World Cup, when they did go, they didn't score a goal. And got knocked out of the tournament the first round. So there's going to be ups and downs. That's the nature of sports in general. It's just a matter of how you react to those negative situations and get things, prepped and ready for the next cycle.
Well, that cycle is playing out right now in Russia, and Cristiano Ronaldo is dominating that cycle. He has 4 goals already in the 2 games, had the hat-trick in Game 1, the draw against Spain. We had Taylor Twellman on with us earlier this week, and he said he believes Ronaldo's playing this way because he only had 3 goals in 13 previous World Cup games because they finally had that breakthrough win in 2016 when they won the Euros in Portugal, and Ronaldo was a big part of that, even though he got injured in the final. Do you believe he's playing with a man who doesn't feel the burden of having to prove himself anymore?
Yeah, I think that's part of it, and a significant part. We look at Cristiano Ronaldo; he's won everything. He's done it all. There's only one thing left, that's been out of his reach all this time. And definitely winning the Euros, I think, gives him a little bit of an inspiration and a desire where it's the more like that realization of like, you know what? We won the Euros, with being in that region, probably the hardest in the world. If we've done it there, you know what? Then I got a shot at this World Cup. I think Cristiano, I believe he's like 33 years old, thinking that maybe this is the last chance at it. He's trying to will himself and his team to the next level to try to take this World Cup home and win that final trophy. He's actually taking that team on his back within this World Cup, and kind of what we've seen Messi do in the past, being the one-man show to make sure that, Portugal gets the opportunity to win it all.
So, Cobi, after the top teams that are out there, and we know the top 2 or 3 teams in this World Cup, who after that, in your mind, has the best shot to win this thing?
And, after those top teams, which are the typical that everyone, said beforehand, let's be honest, with, Germany, Spain,
Brazil,
Brazil, obviously those things. I'd have to put that next tier. We'd have to go with, the France, is one of them. England in there. I would throw in, due to performance, I'd put Mexico in there after the way they absolutely destroyed Germany. If they can continue to play along those lines, I mean, the sky's the limit, for Mexico. Let's be honest. So that was one of the bigger surprises. So, yeah, the one thing we do have to remember that what we see as far as trends within World Cup is that the best teams start getting better as the tournament goes on. So we will have to, keep an eye on, the Spains, Argentinas, Brazils, and see how it continues to go for them.
Well, Mexico is one of those teams. Sometimes you after the big win, they get the letdown. We'll see if that happens in their next match going forward. And speaking of Mexico, Cobi, there's been a lot of discussion about Landon Donovan's sponsored tweet saying he's pulling for Mexico. Taylor Twellman was outraged, saying, "Look, they tried to break my leg. I mean, I'm not playing. I would never root for those guys. That is a rival with me." Where do you stand on what happened there?
I'd agree more with Taylor because it's a rival for me too. But I've gotten to the point. You know what? You can do what you want, right?
Yeah.
But for me, my call, I'm not there. I'm not going to do that because I've just been in the trenches so long, against that side. That it's not one that I'm going to be rooting for, and another reason, this being sports. Let's remember that this is sports we're talking about. Is I love the rivalry,
right?
I don't want it to be toned down into what's it called, where it's like beige, where it's just like, oh, okay, I'm going to cheer for Mexico or I'm going to cheer for the U.S. I love the passion that's on both sides, with these teams going at it. So I want to see that rivalry continue.
Well, that rivalry will continue. Obviously, just the reaction to what Landon did suggest that rivalry is real and spectacular. Listen, we mentioned Ronaldo and the things he's done. How much pressure is on Messi today? He had 11 shots in that game against Iceland, missed a PK and a free kick. He hasn't scored in his last 5 World Cup matches. I mean, that was sort of the whole fix on Ronaldo, and now everyone's looking at Messi to carry Argentina here.
Yeah, it's a big switch, right? I mean, didn't Messi look tired?
Yeah.
He looked tired after the match, and there's even more of a weight, and he's tired of carrying that weight of okay, everything's on you to have to try to make things happen. You almost get that feel, from the Argentinian national team. So you have to wonder which players are going to be able to step up, and help him a bit more. And this is something that may be a little bit different, for Messi, because usually he's always successful and always comes through in the clutch. But I think, after the previous, World Cup in 2014 and leading his team, basically dragging his team to the final and losing in the end, I think it's starting, the wear and tear is starting to work on the body and soul of Messi. And I think some others are going to have to try to pitch in to help him out.
We'll find out what happens with Messi as they take on Croatia a little bit later on today. Cobi, always a pleasure. And again, next time, I want all the Zlatan stories. I want all the Zlatan that you can share with us, because I am all in on Zlatan going full Zlatan whenever he can.
Hey, it's exciting. Hey, he's there in Russia right now, right?
Exactly.
He's always finding a way to be there and be part of the show.
That's what he does.
Zlatan in Russia, I'm a little terrified.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see what happens.
Thanks,
Cobi, we appreciate you being with us. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Hey, everyone, Mike Golic here. Support for the Golic Wingo podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you're confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you that same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. With Rocket Mortgage, you can apply simply and understand fully so you can mortgage confidently. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Mikes. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLS consumeraccess.org number 3030. Is your home an ADT home? If not, you have to get ADT and help protect against break-ins, fire, and carbon monoxide. For a limited time, get ADT's lowest rate starting at just $28.99 a month from the most trusted name in home security. Go to ADT.com/podcast to take advantage of ADT's lowest rate.
With 36-month monitoring contract, early termination and installation fees apply. Excludes taxes and fees. Applies to traditional services only. Certain markets excluded. Licenses available at ADT.com.
Golic and Wingo on ESPN Radio and ESPN News, presented by Progressive Insurance. Give us a phone call, 860-506-5505, reminding you to tune into the NBA draft. Is DeAndre Ayton a lock as the first pick this year? Where will Luka Doncic go? And is Trae Young the next Steph Curry? That's all. Find out tonight at 7 Eastern on most ESPN radio stations, the ESPN app, and, of course, ESPN TV. So Luka Doncic is like the great unknown.
Yeah, he is.
He's the white whale. The great white buffalo from Hot Tub Time Machine. We think we know what we have, but do we really know what
we don't know?
And Luka Doncic. Well, the one person who may know is our next guest, Mina Kimes from ESPN The Magazine, proud graduate of Yale University, frequently on Around the Horn and PTI, and co-host of the Morning Roast on ESPN Radio. Mina, thanks for being with us. You did a deep dive on Luka Doncic recently for ESPN The Magazine. So what did you come away with? Who is this guy?
Well, I think the first thing, he's actually really known. He's probably the most known quantity in the draft because he's played so much basketball. And unlike pretty much every other prospect in this draft, he's actually played basketball against NBA players. In the Eurobasket tournament, you got to see him compete with guys like Ricky Rubio, the Gasals, and Kristaps Porzingis, who I highlight in my story. All of whom came away extremely impressed by him, and his team, Slovenia, went on to win the tournament. So you actually have a really large sample size for Doncic, and what he's done in Europe, the production, the numbers he's put up are completely unprecedented.
So we certainly learn more and more about the basketball side of it. What about him? We've heard who he wants to date, things he wants to buy, like a tiger in here.
Who doesn't want to do those things, by the way?
What about him off the court a little bit?
I saw the dating thing. I think he said Jennifer Aniston. People were like, "This is a 19-year-old kid," and I was laughing because when I met him, he had just finished watching the entire run of Friends. So he was asking me about New York. I think it helped him with his English a little bit. He's a big Netflix guy. But he is very much, I keep saying this, very much a 19-year-old. And he was actually 18 when I first met him, which makes what he did in Europe, what he did at Eurobasket, all the more incredible. You know, EuroLeague MVP at 19, something that doesn't happen every day. But he speaks very good English. I think he's very ready to move to the U.S. because another thing that's unusual about him and a little bit different from the other prospects is, he moved away from home when he was 13 to Spain from Slovenia. So he's been living away from his home country pretty much his whole life.
You're in New York right now. Is there a fire alarm going on? What's happening? I'm concerned for you right now.
I know. I'm a little bit concerned, too. I'm in a hotel room, and I suddenly... Okay, we're good now.
Oh, you're good. There it goes.
By the way, let's make sure that Luka knows that Central Perk is not a real place, right? We want to make sure that he doesn't go to the coffee shop and look for Chandler. I mean, that would be a really bad thing if that was his first move.
Hey, I'm hearing the Knicks are trying to trade up, so it's not out of the realm of possibility.
That is amazing. Again, we're talking to Mina Kimes from ESPN The Magazine, had an extensive article on Luka Doncic. And again, so we don't know much about him, but in the EuroLeague, obviously, is he considered the greatest player ever in that league?
Well, for his age. Okay, so, we are able to take the numbers, take the statistics, everything he's done there, and translate them and compare them to how some of the great European prospects of the past, Rubio, for example, Porzingis, Jokic, et cetera, come here and what they did. And based on those projections, he easily exceeds them. And in fact, based on the projection system developed by R. Kevin Pelton, he's the strongest prospect since Anthony Davis.
That sounds like that's a very strong comparison. We've been all in on comps this morning.
Yes, we have.
We're trying to get people to give us comps. So Anthony Davis is an excellent one. But what are the reservations? We had Fran Fraschilla. He was on ESPN Radio earlier, and he basically said he's done all these great things. The guys he's playing with would have gone 140-10 if they had played college basketball. The level of competition was great. And then he said, but I'm not sure he's a transcendent star. So it sounded like he was building him up. And then there's still some reservations, it seems like, from what Fran's evaluation.
So the comp, or the negative on Luka, rather, is pretty easy. And the reason why teams, fans, owners, et cetera, have reservations is simple. It's the athleticism. He's not a transcendental athlete. We know this. He's 19. He's a good athlete. He's a big guy. He's really dense, and he could easily, I think, be an average NBA athlete, but he's not a DeAndre Ayton. He's not a Marvin Bagley. So when people look at him, they see a guy whose ceiling is whose floor is pretty high. He's not going to be a bust. Almost nobody I spoke with thinks that. The question is, how high is his ceiling given his athletic limitations?
Now, again, he's been a pro for a few years, but not in the NBA and in this world out here. So, like Kristaps Porzingis and others who have come over from Europe who've had family members come over and live with them to help the transition or to be in it more together as a group. Is Luka going to do that? Is he coming over here alone? Do you know if he's bringing anybody with him?
He's coming with his mom, who's been living with him in Madrid for a couple of years. But I think the transition point is a really good one because a lot of European players who struggled when they came to the U.S. in the past, especially in the 80s and 90s, struggled for cultural reasons. They weren't really ready to be here. I think you're seeing that less and less. But it would be great for Luka, in my opinion, if he ended up on a team, with an older European player like a Dallas, where he could be around someone who mentors him.
Well, again, let's make sure he's not getting all his cultural references from Friends because that's about. I mean, look, I love the show, but I'm just concerned they may be a little dated as Luka tries to move into this realm. So, as we look at him, what was away from the court? What was the most interesting thing you found about him as a person?
I think just how young he seemed,
right.
Which sounds weird, but when you watch him play, so I watched him play a lot of basketball before I met him, and he plays like a 28-year-old, right? He's so mature, and a lot of that has to do with the league he plays in, who he's been around. Real Madrid is like the Spurs of Europe, okay? So that's an extremely, extremely sophisticated system. And then you meet him, and he's super competent, and then you meet him, and he's very much 19 and plays video games all day and drives a Porsche, like an electric blue Porsche. So he is, I think, he reminds me almost of a normal American teenager in a lot of ways.
I like that, except for on the court, which is probably the most important thing, to be that heady on the court.
So it
older.
Sounds like what you're saying is he's a youngster, but he's kind of an old soul on the court. Is that the best way to describe it?
Yes, he certainly plays with the confidence of someone who is much older than 19, especially what you saw in a lot of, his team just won both Eurobasket and the ACB League, which is crazy. And what you saw, I think, was just the confidence, his willingness to take that last shot, which is very unusual for a 19-year-old.
So as it sounds like the alarm is going off again.
Mina, get out! Get safe!
I think we're okay.
I need to go really one more specific question. You said he plays the video games. The hot game now is Fortnite. Do you know what video games he's playing?
He does play Fortnite, and he's big on Overwatch.
Oh, there you go.
There it is. And does he play any FIFA?
Everybody FIFA too. No, absolutely.
Everybody. Mina, I'm concerned.
Get out of the room.
Get out of the hotel. Go. Fly. Be free. All right. Mina Kimes, ESPN the magazine. Thank you. That's beauty. You never know what goes on in some of these.
Oh, my gosh, you got the alarm going off.
Twice the alarm went off in the background.
I felt like I was again with the Eagles on a road trip when everybody always pulled the fire alarm on us.
And that happens all the time.
Oh, yeah, it does.
People don't understand how often that happens.
It absolutely does.
That one of the greatest things of all time, the Michael Jordan flu game. A lot of people are convinced that he got room service.
Yeah.
And that the room service was not exactly kosher.
That's exactly right.
And that's why he was sick. It was food poisoning as opposed to the flu.
I think one of the most interesting parts about that in Mina and getting to know him was how he is a teenager off the court, but on the court, he said he plays like a 28-year-old.
Yeah.
And obviously that's huge because we get the teenagers now, the one and dones that come into the league, and do you get that same thing? With some, I imagine some you do, but boy, that's how you'd want it. Yeah. You'd rather not have the 28-year-old off the court and the 19-year-old on the court.
Correct.
Yeah. So,
by the way, we failed to ask me the most important question: is he a flat earther? Like some of the other people. But wait a minute, we also failed to ask me another important question. I remember this from the Super Bowl. Stanzik, you and Mina Kimes went and did an escape room at the Super Bowl in Minneapolis, right?
We did.
What happened?
You guys were just reminding me of it when you were like, Mina, get out of the room. Something's happening. The alarm's going off. Get out of there.
Explain the escape room for those that may not know.
So an escape room's like a thing people do for like bonding.
Oh, so Chelsea does it all the time.
We were at the Mall of America in Minnesota. And so for the Dan Le Batard show, they were thinking of fun things they could have Mina do while she was in the mall. And one of them was the escape room. And she's like, I'm not going to do it by myself. Who can I do it with? And I was chosen.
I don't know. What is an escape room?
It's very hard to explain.
Okay.
We don't really have the time.
All right.
It's basically, if I can sum up to protect clock integrity here, even though summer book, it is where it's like a thrill game where you have to find your way in and out of a thing in a certain amount of time.
Okay. All right.
And there's scary stuff, and you got to think things
all right,
through.
That gives me a little bit of a
you
picture.
would hate it.
Yeah.
Okay, that gives me a little picture, but proceed.
No, that was it.
Oh.
That was it.
We got out of the room.
You got out of the room.
Yeah.
You escaped.
Yeah.
Great escape.
He escaped the escape room.
Okay.
And all is well. And we're in the 82nd minute, and Denmark and Australia are tied. We'll get updates on that. But we also have an update on one of the most bizarre baseball injuries of all time.
Next. You're holding up the line, ma'am.
What did you say?
You're next in line for the water slide, ma'am. Feet forward and enjoy the ride.
Okay, dearie. This does look fun. You melted me. I've melted.
The Wicked Witch of the West on a water slide? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
See what you've done. Oh!
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Golic and Wingo reminding you that we are fueled by Gatorade. All the electrolytes, zero sugar.
Just to be clear, we knew you weren't that hip.
Yeah.
But wait a minute, Mike, we have some breaking news.
Boy, we really do. We were talking about Brandon Morrow a lot this morning, the closer for the Cubs, who came back from a road trip and was getting undressed, he said, about 3 a.m. in his closet, taking off his pants, got one leg out the other leg. He had an issue, had a back spasm. He's on the 10-day DL. So that led us to other, of course, baseball freak injuries. And one that I liked the most was the pitcher John Smoltz, who, when put on a dress shirt, realized it had some wrinkles in it, so he ironed it. Problem is, he didn't take his shirt off.
John's a smart guy.
He
I don't
ironed
understand why he thought
his
this
shirt
was a good idea.
while it was on, and he burned his chest.
Yeah.
To which our buddy, our good friend, Jason Stark.
Love Jason.
Listen, I oddly miss the trivia questions he would call in and ask every week because I just about always got them wrong.
We got it right a couple of times.
We did, but I have a horrible track record, but I love Jason working for The Athletic now. He said he was listening to the show and hearing us talk about Smoltz ironing a shirt while wearing it. Jason says, I just interviewed him the other day for his baseball stories.
About that?
About that. And you know what Smoltz said?
What?
That never happened.
Whoa! Hold on. That is huge.
John Smoltz said it never happened. And Jason said Smoltz spent the next 10 minutes talking about how delighted he is that urban legend has kept it alive this long.
Well,
is that amazing?
And so it's never happened.
He says it's do we believe him?
I don't know. John Smoltz is a pretty straightforward guy.
And a great golfer, by the way.
Yes, and I've seen him in a bathing suit, so I would notice if he had burned himself with the iron.
I would, that's amazing. I wonder how many other of those injuries we're reading about never happened.
Yeah, that's kind of, I'm sad. I'm actually sad about
too.
that.
I was really hoping that happened. I was really hoping somebody ironed a shirt while they were wearing it.
So that has just been an urban legend that's been out there.
And he's happy actually about the urban legend. He's okay with it.
He's okay with people thinking he was so silly that
I
have more respect now for John Smoltz, that he's okay with that being out there forever.
Jason, thanks for the update, and thanks for not asking me a trivia question. Embarrassing.
Well, that's happened far too often.
Yes,
okay, so we're getting close, Mike.
Yeah, we are.
We're getting close to
Golic and Wingo Leadership Retreat.
And we're leaving right after the show.
We
Heading
are.
down. We're doing the show tomorrow from Raleigh, and then we're playing Pinehurst number 2.
This thing came up when Stugotz was on air with us, and you and him just casually talking about golf, and it led to let's golf together at some point. Pinehurst tweeting to us, and all of a sudden we have a leadership retreat where we got to pick 4 winners from around the country. They bring 2 friends. And we're going to have 4 foursomes tomorrow on Pinehurst number 2 after the show. Then we'll golf the Cradle, the par 3 on Saturday morning. It's been unreal. And after something you put out on Twitter and Instagram yesterday, we were golfing yesterday.
We were.
You put out a picture of me driving the ball.
You crushed it.
Yeah, I did. I hit that one very well. Not so much some of the other ones.
Mike, hold on one second.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. Hey! We have a World Cup update.
Which would be
great news for me, not so good for the staff, right? Because the staff had Denmark, a huge favorite. No, the staff have Denmark? Who had Denmark?
No. Devin and Junior.
Devin and Junior had Denmark.
Who's leading in this thing.
A huge favorite They were playing Australia. Australia comes through with the draw, 1-1, so we both get a point.
I'm glad. So Mike and Devin couldn't get 3 points and get even a bigger lead.
So they're still just 2 points ahead of me. Devin, you got to be a little devastated here.
Win would have been nice, but like Golic said, we have a big lead right now. So
the lead didn't get any bigger though. So I'm within shouting distance.
Yeah,
that's the most important.
We'll
thing.
keep it competitive.
Lead's only 2 points. Trey gets 1 win. He's ahead of you guys.
Yeah, what are you talking
about?
Crazy.
All right, good update. Thanks. So
the swing I took of you on the golf course.
Forgetting the swings, a lot of comments were made that my shirt was untucked.
Yes.
To which people were tweeting, Golic, tuck your shirt in.
Yes.
And you better tuck your shirt in and wear a collared shirt at Pinehurst.
Yes.
For the rules there.
Yes.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
One of the shirts I'm bringing is one of these shirts Tiger and the other Nike guys are wearing. This nice shirt, but it's collarless.
Yes.
I'm wearing that. That's
fine.
okay.
That's fine.
Because everybody's saying I got to wear a collared shirt.
Well, if that's a golf shirt. It's acceptable.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, but you have to tuck it in.
I'm not tucking my shirt in.
No, yeah.
I'm not tucking my shirt in.
On the first tee, you have to tuck your shirt in.
So on the first tee, my first swing, I tuck my shirt in, then it can somehow come untucked.
And then as you go down the fairway, you can just sort of relax.
So by my second shot on the first hole, I can have it untucked.
You should be fine. Just on the putting green, when you're warming up, when you're in the pro shop, just don't look like a slob. That's all we're saying.
So tuck it
the
in
shirt
early.
in.
Down the first fairway, I can untuck the shirt.
Yes.
Okay.
After that, you're good.
That's fair.
And
That's fair.
just make sure Junior does one thing for me.
Yeah.
Make sure he doesn't pack the romper.
He did pack it. I don't know if he's going to, maybe he's going to wear it at the cradle. Can he get away with wearing it at the cradle?
No. A short course does not mean male rompers.
How about the back nine? Are we hidden where he can slip into it?
Why would you want to slip into that romper somewhere on the course?
I don't know.
It makes no sense to me. He can wear it out and around the town. How about that?
Okay.
That's the compromise we'll make. He can wear the male romper out and around after we've played.
Okay.
Let's just, like Phil Mickelson, we must respect the course.
All right.
We have to respect Pinehurst. Okay, so we got the NBA draft tonight.
We do.
I'm all about Mo Bamba, 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 Los Lobos. Great soundtrack from the movie in 1987. We'll find out where Luka Doncic goes. Again, you can see it on ESPN, hear it on ESPN Radio, and on the ESPN app, all beginning at 7 o'clock. We'll find out where Trae Young goes.
I'm excited to see what trades happen, quite honestly.
We are on our way. Again, Pinehurst, let me just say before we get there, you've made a terrible mistake.
Horrible.
And we're apologizing in advance.
What are you thinking?